In the last part, we saw that Sylvia told her story to Rayon, after which Rayon decided he would get his revenge later. First, he will help Sylvia to regain her position in the family. This makes Sylvia very emotional and she starts to cry. Now at night Rayon sits down to train. He was training his third fire ring, then suddenly a blue aura came in front of him and he said, "It's finally my time." It gives an evil smile and tells Rayon that Rayon's rage has reached him. He introduced himself as the second lord of the demon realm. Rayon is confused and shocked to see him. The demon is about to tell Rayon he has to sacrifice his soul and body, but he sees that Rayon is just a child. The demon thinks the rage that has reached him was very strong and can't be of some child. But the demon has no choice now and he says Rayon to give his soul and body to him. And then he will help Rayon to take his revenge. Rayon realizes that the demon is here because of his rage towards Derif. Still, Rayon says he doesn't want his help and he will take his revenge on his own. The demon gives an evil smile and tells him that he has already made his decision, and he is going to take his body no matter what. The demon charges toward Rayon and goes inside his body. Rayon feels that the temperature in his body is decreasing and he feels his mind is freezing too. The demon tries to take control of Rayon's mind and body and says even if he wants to take revenge on God, still he will help him. Rayon still doesn't give up and thinks about Sylvia and Maid Helen. He doesn't want this demon to hurt them too. Rayon gets an idea and thinks he can counter the demon's ice attack with his fire rings technique. This is the only option he has to survive. Demon is shocked to see a human kid is able to counter his attack. And then Rayon tells him again that he will take his revenge on his own. And he will not let anyone take control of his body. Rayon is able to counter his attack, but he knows that the demon has just been awakened and this is why the demon doesn't have his full power yet. Suddenly the status window appears and Rayon asks the demon, "Do you know anything about this?" Demon is annoyed and says he was the one who created this window for quicker progress. Rayon realizes that it's because of this window he was able to cultivate rings of fire so easily. Then Rayon tries to hit the demon aura with his mana, and the demon is getting more annoyed by him. Rayon noticed that no one came even after so much noise. It only meant one thing, only Rayon could see this demon lord. The demon goes near Rayon's hand and turns himself into a bracelet. Devil tells him that currently he does not have his full power, but soon he will regain it. Till then he will stick to Rayon and take his body when the right time comes. Rayon wants to remove this bracelet right now, but he thinks after removing this bracelet the demon might go after Sylvia or Helen. He decided to keep this demon close to him to keep an eye on him. The next day we see Sylvia and Helen are a bit tense. They are worried about how Rayon will do in the academy. Then Rayon comes down and greets them. Outside, Sylvia tries her best to encourage Rayon and tells him that she believes in him. Then Rayon bids farewell to them. It's really tough for Sylvia to see Rayon go like this. After some time we see all the students gather around the 5th training hall. Rayon sees that all these kids are from the Sieghart family and a few recommended students from Vassal or other families too. 2 kids start to make fun of Rayon and call him weak. Rayon notices them. He is not afraid of them and confronts them. He calls them mosquitoes and tells them to talk in his face. This makes them furious and Roan tells them they are not even from a direct bloodline. This kid goes ahead and grabs Rayon's collar, and we see a furious look in Rayon's eyes, but before Rayon do something this other boy tells them to stop. This guy is Burn Sieghart from direct bloodline. Both the boys stop and apologize to Burn. Burn goes in front of Rayon and tells him that he should know his place. He is no more than a dust here. If he wants to stay here he should lay low. Burn tells him to get out of here if he is not going to behave well. Burn mocks him and says there is no way he is going to pass. But Rayon is not afraid of him, and tells him why he is speaking bullshit over here. He tells him that he is just a direct lineage. Other than this he has no authority. He tells Burn that he is not even a trainee so he has no right to talk to him like this. Rayon mocks him and tells him to go hide behind your father. Burn is furious and is about to attack him. At this movement, the brilliant sword, Limer, comes here, and he is excited to see the students are about to fight. He tells them to hold off the fight till the end of the entrance ceremony. Seeing Limer here, Burn goes away. Limer gives his introduction and says that he is the head instructor. He smiles and says there are too many students this year so he is going to cut down the number with a test. And he is going to turn down the number to a quarter. All the kids are shocked to hear this. The headmaster sits on a chair and brags that his word is the law here and even the patriarch cannot interfere here. Now the headmaster jokingly tells the kid to start running. He tells them the basics of martial arts are physical strength and mental power. The Rage tells Rayon to go run in front of others, not back here. But Rayon is smart and tells Rage that this is not a competition. He just has to run, not win from anyone. Rayon knows the winner will be the one who will endure till last. We see Sir Burin and Lady Runnin are at the front, but the master knows even though they are in front this is not their top speed, which means they can keep running for hours. Then the examiners see Rayon, who is in the back all the time. He is not even able to run properly. They think he is already sick, he will fall soon, but the headmaster is interested in him. He thinks he has never seen a child run like that. Weimer is an elf. He tells us that he can see the power level of all humans except the strongest of the continent. He can see the future of most of the kids here. But for Rayon, he can't see anything. This means Rayon is stronger than the headmaster and beyond his reach. The kids laugh at Rayon, saying that he wouldn't even last 10 minutes and fall soon. But Rayon is determined and keeps running. He remembers in a past life he used to run from starving beasts by keeping his life on the line. So just running like this is way easy for him. The headmaster is shocked to see him run. He knows that Rayon has exhausted all his stamina long ago. It's not even possible for him to run now, but he is still running. He has the mentality like a person who is running for their life. Burin knows about Rayon's bitter cold curse and he is angry to see him still run despite his weak body. He gets frustrated by everyone and decides to show all what he can do. He uses his aura and goes all the way ahead of everyone. Rayon sees Burin and Runnin and feels that Runnin is more mentally mature than Burin. After a while, even these boys get tired and sit on the ground. But Rayon is still running. Other kids think doesn't he get tired? But we see Rayon feel like he is going to die because of the cold inside of his body, and he thinks his heart would stop any moment. But still, Rayon is not stopping and thinks this is a great for improving his fire rings. But suddenly we see the Rage come in front of him and say he is too weak now. Rage thinks it's the right moment to get control of Rayon's body. He uses his freezing power and Rayon feels tremendous pain, but he still endures it. Rayon is about to fall and Runnin notices him. But before Rayon fall, the headmaster announces them to stop. Rayon thinks he was about to die, and we see Lady Runnin is always noticing Rayon. We see Rayon smile. He has improved his physical strength because of the status window, and suddenly a notification pops up that he has got some extra XP for surpassing his physical limits. The Demon Lord is furious to see this. Then the headmaster congratulates everyone and tells them they did well. Then he claims that he was lying about letting only a quarter in. He says he can't fail so many students on the first day. But then all of a sudden the headmaster tells in anger that if they keep the same result most of them will indeed fail. And this makes everyone speechless. The headmaster scolds everyone and tells them that most of them didn't run at their full speed, but only one student ran well. Weimer says he has even noticed one guy has also used his aura, which was not allowed. Weimer claims that if they do what he says then they won't fail the test. And now all students will be considered as provisional trainees. And after 6 months there will be a test, and from that test, he is going to pick a top trainee. Then the headmaster goes to meet the Patriarch. Patriarch was standing near the cliff and was watching the exam. Then the headmaster tells him about how he cannot see anything about Rayon's future and power. Limers is excited to learn more and more about Rayon. Then Patriarch tells him to focus on training and he says it's just a coincidence that he cannot become a martial artist. But Limer states that it's very evident that it was not a coincidence. Here we see Rayon is thinking about doing more training. And obviously, these kids are annoyed by him because they cannot believe that Rayon, who is such a weak boy, ran more than them and defeated them. They conclude that he must have cheated somehow. This boy, who is Crane Sieghart, claims that Rayon has some kind of miracle medicine that is given by the Saint of Rags. Crane turns these kids against the main lead. Now they go and pick a fight with Rayon. They shout at him and say that he was able to run that much only because of that miracle medicine. They say this was a cheap trick. And Rayon thinks that they are stupid, after all they are still kids. Crane was about to punch Rayon, but Rayon attacked him before he can do anything, and brutally punch him till he falls. Here we see the horrifying side of Rayon. He easily beat up the other two boys too. And here Rage becomes the fangirl of Rayon by 7. After a lot of beating, Crane goes on his knees and says sorry to Rayon. Rayon steps on his hand and asks him was Burin is involved in this too. Did Burin made them do this? To this Crane denies. Rayon is in thoughts because he has expected that Burin hates him. After this Rayon gives them a terrifying look and tells them to forget about all this. Here we see the headmaster was witnessing this and was hiding behind the tree. He feels that Rayon was like Patriarch when he was young, and now his curiosity increases more for Rayon Sieghart. Then we see the Demon Lord give an offer to Rayon. He tells Rayon to bet on something, and if he wins, he will give more XP to him, but if Rayon loses, then Rayon has to take 10% of his rage. They bet on becoming the top trainees among all students. Rayon finds this interesting and asks him about the rage penalty. Demon Lord explains that in rage penalty, Rayon will get the emotion of rage that he possesses. He claims that 10% is nothing, but with enough rage Rayon will lose control of himself. Rayon thinks about it and finds this offer really good. Now Rayon accepts the offer and thinks if he uses his past life experience then he can become a top trainee. The next day we see all the kids are tired because of training. The headmaster has told them to do horse riding pose. He claims that doing this is very important. He tells them to remain in this position until he tells them to stop. The headmaster says he is not forcing anyone. If anyone who wants to leave can go. Some kids find this training not important and Burin is one of them. They go from there and think about doing some basic swordsmanship. Rayon thinks that he needs basic physical strength more than sword training. Rayon trains really hard and focuses on training his body for now. We see Lady Runnin from the vassal family is still keeping an eye on Rayon. She thinks Rayon is improving fast despite having that bitter cold curse, and he is increasing the amount of weight every day. She is curious about Rayon and wants to know more about him. She moves forward and thinks, why is he here? She was staring at Rayon. She realizes what she is doing. She gets shy and sits next to him, and she starts to follow everything that Rayon is doing. She feels there is some cool and pleasant scent coming from Rayon's body, which is making her body feel lighter, and because of that, she was able to lift more weight than usual. Rayon asks her does she wants to talk, to which she replies no. Then she still keeps following Rayon. Everyone is annoyed to see this, and even Burin is speechless on this. Burin thinks that Rayon is weak. Even though he is training much, still they both are on different levels. Burin doesn't know what the test is going to be, but he thinks doing sword training is way better than physical training. Then we see this green-haired guy who introduces himself as Dorian to Rayon. He asks Rayon if he can train with him. Rayon doesn't care much and agrees. Here we see a new friendship is in making. Dorian gives a cookie to Rayon. Rayon looks at Ronan and realizes that she is staring at the cookie. Her eyes were stuck on it, that's why Rayon gave it to her. She is happy to eat this. This is how the three become friends. Time passes by. Rayon and his friends spend this time doing physical training, and Burin has also trained a lot in swordsmanship. Rayon sees all the other guys have skipped this physical training which headmaster has told them to do. Only a handful of students were doing this, and Burin and Ronan were one of them. Now the morning of test day has come. Even parents of all the students have come to see this test. Demon Lord reminds Rayon about their bet. Demon thinks that Rayon is still not as powerful as Burin and Ronan, but Rayon ignores his words. Rayon and Ronan see that Dorian is looking sick. Dorian tells them he is just nervous about the test. Because of this, he wasn't able to sleep the whole night. Dorian was sick and Ronan was enjoying her cookie. To this, Rayon thinks he is surrounded by such odd people. Sylvia and Helen were happy to see Rayon. Sylvia is proud and happy to see Rayon has made some friends here. Soon the Patriarch also comes here, and everyone is shocked to see this because the Patriarch never comes to see the test. The headmaster and Patriarch have a conversation, then they start the test. The headmaster suddenly starts to release the tremendous amount of his aura, and tells all of them that this is their test, and they all have to make through his aura. He starts to call all the students one by one. The first run-in comes in front. The headmaster explains the aura burst would be of different levels for everyone. If the student has trained their hardest, they will endure it. They will pass the test only if they touch the master's body. Headmaster bursts out his aura and tells Ronan it will be a direct fail if anyone uses their aura to clear this. They have to endure this with their mental power. Ronan struggles a lot, but in the end, she holds the headmaster's hand. The headmaster praises her and tells her she did well. Now it's Dorian's turn. Dorian is too afraid of this test. Even Rayon noticed that the intensity of aura burst was different for each student, which means the headmaster was observing every single child. In the end, we see even Dorian pass the test and grab the master's leg. The headmaster tells him to keep more confidence in his skills. Sometime later it's Burin's turn. He comes forward. As the headmaster releases his aura, Burin is not able to endure it. He is in shock at how did Ronan and the other kids were able to handle this much aura. The headmaster thinks that Burin is special. He is a lot stronger than many other kids, but he wasted his time learning swordsmanship instead of training his mentality and physical strength. It's difficult for Burin to endure this because he is too much dependent on his aura, but if he uses it now he will fail. Burin remembers how his father looked at his elder brother and kicked him out. He feels he will be abandoned too if he fails this test. That's why he gives his all to hold the headmaster's legs and pass the test. At last, the headmaster calls Rayon Zeigart forward. The headmaster releases his aura, which is way brighter than other kids' test. Even Sylvia and Patriarch notice this. Headmaster claims that Rayon's talent is way above than Burin and Runnin. But now in Rayon's body, he has his current qualities as well as the quality of Rayon the assassin. He is easily able to endure it and push the headmaster back. Everyone is shocked to see this. And here Rayon has a smile on his face. Everyone is confused about how does an ill child who hasn't even learned aura did that. The headmaster is in denial and asks him how did he did that. He claims he was pranking Rayon by releasing much more aura than what he can endure, and still Rayon endured it. After this, headmaster tells everyone that now he will pick the top trainee, and Burin and his father are a bit nervous. At last, the headmaster announces that Rayon is the top trainee in the 5th training hall. Tears of joy start to roll down from Sylvia's eyes after hearing this. But suddenly Burin starts to throw a fit and claims that Roan is weaker than him in strength and stamina. He cannot accept this decision. He thinks Rayon used some kind of trick to pass the test. Everyone present there starts to believe in Burin's words and thinks that the headmaster is somehow involved in this. Burin points to Rayon and tells him that they should choose the top trainee with a duel. The headmaster smiles and makes fun of Burin for acting like a child. He states the test is over and asks the Patriarch what should they do. The Patriarch tells Rayon that people here are not accepting the result. He asks him if is he willing to fight a duel. Rayon firmly denies it and everyone is shocked to hear this. He claims the test is already over and he doesn't want to engage in a duel which doesn't benefit him. The Patriarch thinks about this and says that if Rayon wins he will give a bronze plaque to him. This grabs the attention of Rayon. The golden, silver and bronze plaques are rewards given to those who have accomplished something. The higher the quality of material, higher the rewards. Even the bronze plaques have pretty good rewards. And because of this, Rayon agrees to do a duel. Grandmaster tells them that they can't use weapons or aura, they just have to fight with their body. As soon as the duel begins, Burin tries to land an attack on Rayon. But Rayon defended himself. After this, Burin uses a tiger fist technique which was taught to him by his father. Burin remembers that when his father kicked his brother out, he told Burin that he didn't want any weaklings in the family. This is why Burin was giving all his best. Because his father was watching him, that's why he has to prove himself to his father. Here we see Rayon can see everything. He can see the fist, the attack, and everything clearly. Then Rayon uses an uppercut and nullifies Burin's attack. And with his other hand uses the same fist technique on Burin. Everyone is amazed and shocked to see this. Rayon tells him that he just learned this first technique right now by watching Burin do it. No one believes this and thinks Rayon learned this technique secretly. Burin was on his knees and the headmaster was in disbelief. He is sure that Rayon is heavily talented, and one day he can even rule the continent. He declares the match to be over and Rayon wins this duel. Sylvia rushes to Rayon and hugs him. She is so happy to meet him that her tears are not able to stop. Other parents also meet their kids, but Burin's father doesn't look happy and goes away without meeting him. At home, Burin goes to meet his father on his desk. His father scolds him a lot. He was furious on Burin because he has lost to Rayon. Burin is too ashamed. His father tells him he lost his first chance, now he should claim the position of top trainee in the graduation exam. Burin's father tells him to get out of here. Burin is furious on Rayon and decides he will teach him a lesson. And here our video ends. Let's see what Burin will do to get his revenge. To watch the next part, select the video on the left side. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.